Good afternoon. I'm Alyssa Passaggio with NJ Advanced Media, and this is NJ.com Live. Today we're going to go over two of New Jersey's biggest stories with two of our reporters, and you can ask questions of the reporters by posting them into the comments below. Also, we'd love to hear where you are in the state while you're watching, so chime in the comments. We're going to hit two stories today. We're going to talk about one New Jersey school that okayed a transgender bathroom policy, and then we're going to talk about Bruce Springsteen's cancellation of his concert in North Carolina. So first, we have Bergen County reporter Myles Ma. Thank you for joining us. So last night, one New Jersey school okayed a transgender policy, and there was a heated debate beforehand. Tell us a little bit about the situation leading into it.
So the Pascack Valley Regional High School District, which is a district covering a couple towns in Bergen County, they've been weighing this policy to cover transgender students for about a month or two now.
About a month or two now, okay.
Yeah. And last night, after delays because of concerns from parents, they finally voted on the policy.
Okay, were there a lot of people who came out to the meeting?
Yeah, there were. So the meeting took place in an auditorium, and I'd say there were maybe dozens of people there, maybe 50, and the auditorium was about half full.
So can you explain what's going on with the policy itself? Like, what does it actually do?
So the policy covers a lot of things. It basically governs entirely how the district treats transgender students and the rights they have. The thing that people had the most concerns about was the bathroom and locker room policy. And the policy basically says a transgender student can use the locker or bathroom of their choice based on the gender identity that they consistently assert, was the language used in the policy.
Okay, and now can you explain, now I know it impacts bathrooms and locker rooms, but whatever that gender identity they consistently assert had other meanings in the policy, right?
The way it's decided, you can't just up and decide, today I'm male, tomorrow I'm female. It's the principal who has the final say on whether the gender identity you're asserting is sincere or not.
Okay, and now I think your story also said that teachers then have to acknowledge that student by that gender.
Right.
So multiple things.
One of the things in the policy is that the staff has to address the student by the name and the gender that they assert to the principal. Yeah.
Okay, and now what was the primary opposition we were hearing about the policy?
There were a couple of different angles in terms of opposition, at least from what I heard last night at the board meeting. There was the religious argument. There were a number of people who quoted Bible verse at the meeting, and they're just wholly opposed to the idea of someone being transgender. There were a lot of parents who were just concerned that the district was moving too fast. A couple parents said, especially parents of girls were concerned about someone who was identified as a male a week before changing with their daughter in the locker room. And many of them asked the district to sort of pump the brakes a little bit.
Okay. And it sounds like the district is trying to do that a little bit by making sure the principal is the person who approves this change and that it's sincere.
Right.
Yeah.
And there have to be conversations with the school psychologist, the counselor, the parents before the principal gives that.
It's not a quick thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this policy, this is a done deal.
Yeah.
For the school district.
Last night was the final vote on it. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, and this isn't a new conversation we're having in New Jersey, right?
No, it's not. I'm not sure why, but it did become a big lightning rod in this particular school district. But a handful of other districts in Bergen County have passed it, and a handful of others throughout the state have passed it. And a lot of that is guidance from the New Jersey School Boards Association.
Oh, okay.
Which, gives guidance to school boards, and their take on it is that this gives schools legal cover. They feel that it puts schools in line with the state's laws on discrimination.
Okay, and then that sounds great. So Myles, thank you so much for sitting with us.
Sure.
If you haven't read Myles' story yet, you can find it at NJ.com/Bergen. We're also going to post links to the story in the text of this post and down in the comments. So thanks, Myles.
Thanks.
Now we're going to bring over music reporter Bobby Olivier. and we're going to talk about Bruce Springsteen, who has started quite the controversy in the last week or so. So I think everyone kind of knows he canceled his concert in North Carolina.
Right.
Why?
Well, because he, as he's sort of always been, is siding with the side of social progress, and his quote was, "Some things are more important than a rock and roll show," and he disagreed with HB2, the North Carolina bill that basically says, among other things, the opposite of what Myles was just talking about, where transgendered people need to use the bathroom that is on their birth certificate, not what they associate with.
So what did this, I heard a lot of feedback, and we had one question on Facebook about how could Bruce let his fans down in this way? Couldn't he have done the show and like donated the proceeds or something? Like, why did he feel the need to totally, or did he say why he felt the need to totally cancel?
And he sort of touched upon that, and I mean that was my knee-jerk response, and I think a lot of people, that why couldn't he just go on stage and state this and say that he disagreed and still do the show anyway, or donate the proceeds. I think some other artists have done similar things, but I mean he wrote in a pretty long statement on Facebook that and on his website that this was like the strongest opposition that he could show, and he just felt that this was something that he just really needed to take his stance on, and it's sticking to his guns basically.
Now, what did it mean for the ticket holders of that concert?
They all got refunded. People who had bought online at Ticketmaster got refunded automatically. So I'm told. I didn't have tickets to the show, but and then people who bought it in person, the box office was open. I think yesterday. You could go and get a refund.
Okay. And now, so I know some of the complaints were, how could you do this to your fans? Did you hear any other general complaints, like the biggest ones?
Yeah, I mean, the big complaint, which has been going on for years, because, I mean, Springsteen has always sort of bisected social issues since the 70s, and people have always said, well, he should just keep his politics out of his music and just play his music, that's all we care about. And, I mean, I understand that, and as a music fan, I don't know if I would want every single band that I listen to be, ranting on stage all the time. But he's sort of become a cultural figure for one of those reasons, that he just always has believed in a world that sides with its people, basically.
Okay, can you give me one or two other examples where Bruce did something like this?
Yeah, only one or two. There's quite a few.
I'm sure there are, but they have to get back to lunch.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Let's see. Well, he stumped for John Kerry in 2004 and did a whole Vote for Change tour, emphasis on change.
Okay.
He was involved in the Sun City song, if everybody remembers, from 1985. We Ain't Gonna Play Sun City, which was him and U2 and Pat Benatar, and the song was written by Steve Van Zandt, and it was all opposing apartheid in South Africa, and that they wouldn't go play in South Africa.
We haven't seen him cancel a show like this before. This is a different kind of thing for him.
Yeah. As far as I know, this is not what he usually does.
Okay.
But yeah, the people have taken notice, and I mean, they're in Tennessee. Miley Cyrus and some other people in Nashville are already opposing a similar bill that's going through in Tennessee. Bryan Adams just canceled a show in Mississippi over something that goes against gay rights. So it's sort of a hot thing to do right now. Yeah.
Are there any other New Jersey artists that we should be watching out for doing this kind of thing, or not that you've seen?
Not that I've seen so far, and I mean in New Jersey, nothing's been going through on a statewide level that I think would have people who are not from New Jersey not come here, that I've seen so far. So I mean, I guess we'll see.
Okay, great. Well, Bobby, thank you so much for sitting with us. Bobby's coverage about the Bruce Springsteen concert, you can find it at NJ.com/music. He had an article, and then he also had a column calling Bruce brave for doing this. You can find the links to that below, and you can find them at NJ.com/music. Thank you very much. Thank you for sitting in with us. We'd like to know what you think about this broadcast, so please leave your feedback. Do you like the area? Do you like what we're talking about? In the comments below on Facebook, and we'll check them out. And hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow at 12:30.